Open the portal again for another transfer for more money to another college.
Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting of the County Facilities Committee to order. To welcome our new members. We'll get started with the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, which was in November. Supervisor Conover. Supervisor Diamond. Any discussion, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Supervisor Patrick, thank you. Privilege of the floor, public comment. Anyone? Anyone online or? Okay. Settles that. We'll begin with the airport agenda. Mr. Mapp is here. And let's him take that.
Really easy one we have today. So it's a request to amend resolution 410 of 2025. That one was to the reimbursement of the AFFF equipment, testing equipment we previously purchased. We worked with the FAA and we determined that project is 100% eligible for reimbursement. So we want to amend the application to adjust the title cosmetic change to include that it's a reimbursement as opposed to a new purchase, as well as to increase the funding level to 100% FAA funded. Pretty straightforward.
Supervisor Beatty, second by Supervisor Diamond. Any discussion, any questions, comments, etc.? Now we'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Oh. Thank you. Discussion items.
Okay, so this possible letter of agreement update with Albany Air Traffic Control. The FAA is updating its notice to air emission systems from a legacy system to one of the newer NOTAM manager systems. That transition is currently occurring. The process that we have with Albany is that we report any issues generated NOTAMs or surface conditions, airport status, runway closures. We contact Albany ATC as a part of the procedure of generating NOTAMs. They're updating the LOA to amend or replace previous legacy systems with the new system. I've looked at the LOA and it doesn't really reference any kind of legacy system, but I'll continue to work with the Albany ATC manager to see if we actually need an update to LOA. But at this point in time, it's just a discussion item until it's confirmed that we actually need to update the LOA, or if the previous LOA is still applicable, given that it does not reference the previous NOTAM manager system. That's just general knowledge at this time.
You all familiar with the term NOTAM?
Notice to air emissions, sorry.
The
term one? NOTAM, notice to air emissions. So if
you
you
repeat
want,
it again, please?
notice to air emissions, sorry. So
Thank you.
basically the airport status, the runway conditions, surface conditions, so.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
And then the final item is the 2026 car show we briefly mentioned last year. We have Mr. Anthony Fitzsimmons here to have a brief presentation or talk more about the item if he wants to address the podium. Sure.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Fitzsimmons. I am the coordinator and director of the Wolfsgard Automotive Destination event. This event has been held for 15 years in the Burlington, Vermont area. I'm actually local. I'm here. I live in Sarasota County, and we are looking for a new venue and a new direction and a new chapter to our event. And I've been really looking into the area here. I feel Warren County, Queensbury, Lake George, and Glens Falls, and even South Glens Falls has a lot to offer for our style of event. We deal heavily with tourism. We work closely with cities, businesses, villages, you name it. And everywhere that I have done events and look a location for events, I have basically a list that I go through, and accommodations is a big one, entertainment, local history, and more. And then obviously businesses. We work closely when we were up in Burlington with companies like Switchback Brewery, like with City Winooski, which was the sister city, kind of, they call it the little Brooklyn of Burlington. We really create an environment for these folks that are, most of them are out of towners, but we also really like to connect and work with the local folks to create an experience in the European automotive world. I know that everybody's pretty familiar here with the Adirondack Nationals, phenomenal show. I attend it every year. We're not trying to be the Adirondack Nationals. We're something totally different. We're definitely more laid back, more relaxed. We heavily deal with German, European, and then foreign cars as well. So a lot of foreign vehicles. One of the reasons I'm interested in the Floyd Bennett Airport is the space. We have done our event at the Champlain Valley Expo for 15 years. And we have used a mix of outdoor and indoor space. We've also done our own camping, which we offer kind of as an affordable option for some of the folks. We also work closely with hotels in the area and make official hotels. We'll have different price points for those hotels. So we'll work with a higher end hotel to kind of your more economical minded hotels. Our goal with this, and the reason I do this, I'm not a big corporation company that puts these on throughout the country. I'm a local person. We're car enthusiasts. This was a kind of a hobby at first, and then it turned into basically a glorified hobby. And then I had to turn it into a business just because of liabilities and the way the event was headed to. So we really adapt with an area, adapt what the people want, and work with that. So I would love to work with you guys and create a new chapter for our event. I am looking to, at the event, or if we do it at the airport, we will have gates. We will have an entrance gate. We will have a general admissions gate, show car gate, and then the parking, it's up in the air right now. If we will be charging for parking or not. We haven't charged for parking in the past. We just basically charge per person and offer a certain area where folks can park their cars. What else? Any questions so far? Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. What's your normal fees that you charge for parking?
When we
Admission also.
admissions. So admissions has been anywhere between $10 to $15. We'll probably do a group of, if it's, we're multi-day, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll probably do like a special $30, $40 if you get the full weekend for the entrance. That's for general walking admission. For show cars, we're about the $30 to $50 range for a show car. If we have the Alpha class, that's our top 50 cars. These are like top-notch magazine level vehicles. We have charged around $80 to $100 per car, but they were also displayed indoors all weekend long, air conditioned, beautiful bathrooms. We also offer them a free lunch on Saturday as a complimentary. They can bring a +1 and we would cater and offer a lunch to them. There is no other event like this here in the Northeast. We are an event that became pretty much a trendsetter, and there's a lot of other car shows out there where we're on their radar. It's like we're under a microscope. They're constantly looking at what our next steps are, so they can mimic, which is a great tells us we're doing something right and keeps us on our toes. But yeah, that's roughly what we've charged. But with the airport, it's going to be a totally different experience. Yes, we worked with the Champlain Valley Expo. Everything there is basically based on different packages and what we need, from tables to chairs to you name it, tents, buildings. They offered all the bathrooms, the porta potties, and all this stuff. And I've been working locally, calling many places, trying to get a ballpark of what it's going to cost us. And you know, if we can work something out where what we make after all expenses are paid for, our net profit, if there's a way to work with the airport and say, hey, look, you know, if we can give, you know, anywhere between 5 to 10% of our earnings back to the airport, you know, our goal is that you have zero expense, that we, by doing this event, having the gates, we can cover the expenses. You know, there's insurance expenses, everything. If we can, first year, it's going to be tough. We do have some diehard New Englanders, since we've been doing it in Vermont. I've been putting some feelers out there. We haven't made any official announcements yet of the move or location. I am communicating with 3 other possible locations in New England. I'm really rooting for you guys here. I just see a little bit more potential, a little more uniqueness, and this area I think has a little bit more to offer in a sense of destination, vacation time, yeah, just overall the package seems a little bit better here, and it's a little more spread out than what we're used to. Burlington is more of a, you know, city, and the Champlain Valley was right there. What was nice about the expo is that it was basically everything was there. I have a really good team. We're very self-sufficient, and you know, we're not a needy crew, but we do a really good job, and we try to leave the place cleaner than when we got there. That's always our mission. So with the different aspects of the events, we also trying to communicate with certain folks, people across the street of the airport, to offer camping as an option. That can help set the costs as well. Camping is a great thing. We don't like the riffraff. We're not, you know, we don't want the crazy partying and all that stuff. We want to keep it very professional, and because I cater to such a broad spectrum in the world of generations and folks. We have the young and we have the old, and our demographics, the more of it like the 20s, 30s age. But yeah, that's kind of the folks. Any other questions?
Hang on.
Yes.
What I'd like you to do is finish your presentation before we open it up to discussion.
Okay.
And the first person I would like to refer to is the county attorney to get his take, and then we'll go on from there. I trust you've had discussions with our airport manager, Mr. Matt.
Yes.
Okay, so if you would just finish your presentation, and then, as I said, we'll ask the county attorney if he has any questions, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So we we deal with setup of the show. I always create a map of the location of wherever we're doing a on-site or off-site event, and we have everything laid out. We make sure traffic control, everything, safety is always first in our books. Number one is safety, and I'm the kind of person where we get the approvals, the permits, everything that's needed, and then once we get the green light, it's a go. I'm not one of these folks that are, you know, do ask for forgiveness later. That's not our vision or focus mission. We also have the team for the run of show for actually running the actual event. And then the same team helps me out with the breakdown. And I know everybody has hopefully a copy of the presentation that I sent in. What else? Just make sure I got things covered. There's also ways that we enjoy and collaborate and work with local organizations, businesses, clubs, nonprofits, profits, whatever they are, anyone who's wanting to collaborate with us. We like to do offsite events. So we'll have our main event at the airport, let's say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we would do offsite events, for instance, up in Burlington. We would start things, last year we started things on Tuesday. So Tuesday evening, we would work with a place downtown that offers all these food trucks and shopping. We would basically take it over, have a beautiful display of vehicles, just attract a lot of traffic through their gates and doors. We also did an event called the Brew Hop, which we did at Switchback Brewery. We were partnered with Switchback, very professional. Yes, it is a brewery. Yes, it does involve, there's alcohol involved, but we're very, very careful with that. There's a certain limit. We have our staff constantly making sure everything is kosher and people aren't doing anything that they shouldn't be. And it's really a tasting. That's all it really is. It's just a tasting. We have food. Then we also did other events like the Air Out event. The Air Out event was done in Winooski, where we would shut the streets down, a certain block, and have a display of cars as well. How many cars? We can get, we would keep it around the 175 to 200 cars for these offsite events. So we are, we have a good attendance. We're not sure how it's going to be coming to a whole new location because people know that WillScart is a Vermont event. So we're hoping that we're a little bit easier to get to. We're right off the I-87. Influx of folks that come up from New York, New Jersey, New York City, I mean, and hoping that it can balance out. It's a risk. Any of these events are total risk. Weather plays a big role. Overall economy plays a big role, and then making sure that the word is out there and folks signed up to come. So again, we do a balance of on-site, offsite events. On-site, your car show aspect, we display vehicles in certain classes. And since we deal heavily with the German, European, and when I say foreign, we do work with some import vehicles. My philosophy was that if you have a group of guys, 5 guys, 4 of them drive European cars and 1 or 2 might drive a Japanese car, you can come to the event, bring the car, we'll respect it. So we created a class called the enthusiast class. And as long as they respect who we are, we'll respect them. And that's always been our mission. And we have a lot of self-policing. People love this event. They don't want to see it go down the tubes. What else? So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And we have a really great reputation. We have we've worked with some really great folks out there, and people know that we put on a good event. So,
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Personally, I think it's a great idea, but that's just me. I'm only one person in the county, and we'll get some questions now. I'll start, as I said, with Mr. Hellman, our county attorney. Mid comments.
I don't really have too many questions, other than the dates that you're looking at. I saw in 25, it was July 22nd through July 27th. Is that the same kind of time frame that you're looking to do this event?
Yes, so we're usually known for being that last weekend of July or for first weekend of August. So right now, yes, tentatively, that's the focus, July 23rd through the 26th.
So the only comment or thought for consideration is the impact on airport operations
Okay.
at that time of the year. And we would look at the existing agreement to make sure if there was a desire to go forward at that time, that it would fit the requirements of the current lease agreements that we have. And I'm sure that's something that Mr. Mapp has looked at already.
And if I may.
Go ahead.
That's the only point at this time that I would raise.
If I'm glad that the FBO manager, Mr. Steve Abbott, is here to attend. And are those dates impactful for your businesses?
They can be potentially impactful, yes. It's typically our busiest time of year. So the immediate question would be is if those dates aren't available, are there alternates that work best for you guys as well? That's something that if we get to that point, we can work on that possibly down the road. But it is an impactful time of year. It's our busiest time of year, no doubt about it.
Sure, Tom.
The racetrack, we've got Lake George events, summer camps consider, and it can be a very busy time, unfortunately. Which is not a bad thing, but I'm just saying for squeezing other things in there, it's limited.
And that's obviously the biggest downside of having events. So the
Right.
impact on general aviation and
Obviously, going forward, there'll be a lot of coordination required, especially with Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Hajos, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. But going forward, you need, coordinate with him. He'll have a lot to say about it. Mr. Mapp, who you've already talked to, county attorney, county administrator. There's a lot of people get involved here. As you're probably well aware, we host the Adirondack Balloon Festival every year, and that's quite an undertaking. So we're quite familiar with this and have a lot to say about parking, traffic control, that sort of safety, that sort of thing. So
Of course.
it would be a lot of work to do that. And again, I don't mean to, I'm not negative at all. I
No,
think it's
these
a
are,
great idea, but just want you to understand that going forward, there's a lot of coordination required. Having said that, I guess I'll open it up to the committee. Mr. Beatty.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for coming. I didn't see your presentation email. I just came back on the board after a few years. I did have some questions. First of all, why are you guys leaving Champlain now?
so the Champlain Valley Expo is heading into a new direction. They are heavily focusing on concerts from here on in. They teamed up with a local gentleman company that deals with a lot of concerts that come into the Burlington area, either done at the Shelburne Museum, Higher Ground. They've worked things down at the waterfront. They've partnered up with the Champlain Valley Expo. The Champlain Valley Expo has not been doing well these past few years. They keep losing events. I have my personal opinions on that. We'll leave that aside, but they could do better. And a lot of these events that they've cut are more locally connected, which do impact the local businesses. And we're one of them. We check, we go around, we communicate with businesses, and yeah, they absolutely love our event because we bring all these folks to the area. So unfortunately, they have cut a bunch of events. I believe they might have even cut the hot rod event there. That's even way bigger than ours. It's about the size of the Adirondack Nationals. And that's one thing I just want to say. We're not the Adirondack Nationals. We're not that size yet. Love to be. And then we're also nowhere near the balloon festival size. I go there every year. My daughter is obsessed with the hot air balloons. So we come out and it's an impressive event how it's done. So give everyone here props who's involved with that, so.
Just out of curiosity, did anyone get that email that describing?
The presentation was one in November, fortunately.
Oh,
Oh,
It was included in
I could
November.
resend it.
And I had a few other questions.
Sure.
So, how many years were you at that event?
15.
15, so this will be the first year, correct?
First year.
For a new location.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I don't know if you know the answer to this. What was the impact? How many rooms would you rent? How many people would come in for this? What type of economic impact would that have in the area?
Quite a bit. I mean, we would work with the Hampton Inn, the Holiday Inn. We would fill out around, you're looking at about 20 to 30 rooms for hotels. And then there was a lot of Airbnb. I know folks have kind of moved into the whole Airbnb things because they can get a house with a whole bunch of folks. The camping, surprisingly, the camping was a big thing as well. Now, again, the expo has camp hookup. They have electric sites. They have water and electric sites. They have the pump stations, all that stuff. So we had upwards around 350 campsites filled in. And then how many people per those sites? You're looking at 5 people for those sites. 10 sites was 4, camper sites were up to 5. A lot of folks buying multiple campsites together so they can all be with their families and buddies. But yeah, it was tough too, trying to get the exact answer from these hotels because they didn't want to, part of us feel like they didn't want us to know exactly how many rooms were really filling out. Same thing with some of the restaurants. We would communicate like how to go. Well, we did all right. And it's like, you did all right. You had a line out or past going around the block, but there is definitely an impact. I think there'll be more of an impact, especially coming to this area, because this area has a lot more to offer and people familiar with it.
How many tickets would you sell? For example, your last year, which was just last year, obviously. So how many tickets were sold?
We had around, show cars, it fluctuates.
You have different tickets, right?
We do. We do.
So total ticket sales.
Total ticket sales, we're looking at classes 50. Let me just see here because it's hard to without camping. We're looking at around, and also depends because it's multi-day.
Right, so
So average,
3 day, I'm assuming this is 3 day, correct?
right? We're
Okay.
probably getting in like 7,000 to 8,000 people.
Total, okay. All right, and would you say that most of them are coming from outside of the area, or do you think it's mostly local?
But most of them are outside. Most of them are
outside.
Yes, there's a good number from Vermont, but it's mostly outside the area.
That's for 3 days. Now, you mentioned it was an onsite, offsite.
Correct.
So onsite, obviously is the airport.
Correct.
Offsite would be Lake George or Glens Falls. What's your thinking?
My thought for offsite, I've connected with Common Roots Brewery. We can do something there. Also the Adirondack go-kart, indoor go-kart. We talked about coming down there. There's an offsite there. Also Northway Brewing and the Fun Spot folks. I've worked with them in the past. They're great folks. And we can do something there, and it's right next door to each other. So there's more on the parking aspect. Lake George, great. I actually have spoke with the mayor and the village. They're interested in us doing something downtown one of the evenings.
Like them driving through the city.
The parade, that would be a dream. I would love to see a parade. But I know, we got to pay our dues. We have to earn. Yeah, we got to, see what works. But a parade would be phenomenal. I was kind of pushing on the beach road from the Route 9 to where the name of that road that cuts across. But basically from the steamboat parking lot, making sure the steamboat parking lot is open for them. From that over to Route 9, if there was a way we could close that street off. I know that there's the municipal parking there as well. And have a display of vehicles there. And again, it's just to have people come down. Usually those events are free, you know, if there's definitely expenses involved, then we would charge the car anywhere from $5, $10, $15. I always try to keep it under 20 because then it's like, well, we're going to, you know, we're showing the car at the main event. We try to keep it kind of a low cost thing. And that just helps with feeding my staff and volunteers. And then if, you know, we have to rent or whatever we need to do.
So those offsite events run parallel to the onsite events. So in other words, you'd have the airport during the day and then the offsite events in the evening. Is that how I'm visualizing this? Okay.
Correct.
All right. And you're thinking about 7,000 to 8,000 people roughly is what you got at like at the Champlain and so forth.
If I can pull 10,000 people, that, you know, that's the goal or more, you know, that would be.
The camping aspect, what if we didn't have the facilities? I'm not saying we don't, but what if the area didn't have the facilities for, like, what percentage of that? You said 300 campers?
Yeah, we've hit up to 300, 350 campers.
I think probably the area, I don't know, I think the area could probably handle that. And so you're looking, you said the 22nd to the 27th, but you're really looking for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is that what you're saying?
Correct. It's probably going to be pushed like more of the actual like judging aspect, and the full event will be Saturday, Sunday. Saturday is definitely the biggest day, is what we're experiencing. Friday is a lot of folks are coming into towns from town, you know, coming into town. We also do our alpha class pre-screening. We comb through the cars. Some get selected, some in the past have applied for the alpha class level. So we will look at these vehicles, make sure they hit the mark. I have professional judges that work with me and make sure that these cars that we select 50, we've pushed it up even to like 60 cars. So they usually, that's what we do on Friday, kind of take a look at that. And the idea, I always like to start things on Fridays just so we can get a head start on pre-registration or register. They pre-register online and they register check-in on Friday. A lot of our stuff is all online. The applications, the ticketing sales, everything is digitally. We keep track of everybody's information. We their car, the license plate is the tag of the car. The car does not have the license plate, so they have to come up with one. Some of these vehicles are not they could be race cars, it could be other things that they bring on trailers. They have to have some sort of identification number. We keep track on that in case there's any issues. We've had situation where their local police were looking for someone, and we look at our system and we've given them information if they were on site at the camping also. My staff person who runs the camping, she's military, so she's really good at it. And we really keep a good tight.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor Beatty. Anyone else?
Yes.
So am I to understand, and I'm not really actually familiar if we allow this with the balloon festival, there will be alcohol on site on county property?
I haven't discussed that just yet. That would have to be a third party that we would work with if we wanted to have alcohol on site, but we haven't had alcohol, like any beer gardens or anything like that at the event, even at the Champlain Valley Expos. That just brings it to a whole new level of ability. There is, you know, folks will be, I'm sure, bring stuff in, sneak it in, you know, and we make sure we walk around and say, hey, you got to get rid of that, or, you know, we don't want to see it. We're again, the amount of work and effort and investment it takes to put on this event. I don't want some.
No, I'm in agreement.
Okay.
I was really,
No, that's good.
concerned
That's
about
great.
public
That's
safety
a
when I heard about.
that's a phenomenal point.
Mentioned alcohol.
What I heard is the alcohol was at off-site locations,
Correct.
not on the county property.
Right, good. So again, and anything off-site location that deals with alcohol, it would have to be done through New York State laws, permits, and third parties. So for instance, if we work with like Northway Brewing or Common Roots, it's with them. So.
Okay.
Can I, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Okay. And just one other question, you know, the shoulder season, I think, you said you had a certain amount of rooms that you fill hotels with. I think you said 20 to 30, those numbers don't really drive to me. I mean, you mean hotels?
No, we work with four or five hotels and then around like 20 to 30 rooms per hotels.
Okay.
So, there's and that it's tough. We've actually even worked with hotels and we'll call them, how's it going? We're like, we've only got 5 people that signed up. And there's a lot of last minuters too,
Sure.
where we also don't get all the information. I mean, I could definitely reach out to them again and find out what the total amounts were. But it's unfortunately it's a little different. Like I know the Adirondack Nationals, it's a different demographics. There's a lot of the folks there already have it planned for next year. A lot of these folks wait kind of last minute, see what the weather is going to be like. All that stuff makes it tough for us. But
My only other thought would be, I would think that the economic impact would be much greater in the shoulder seasons for our region.
Sure.
This area, so if you would consider not being July or August, that would be ideal. But that's just me thinking out loud.
Right.
You said there's like 300 people that you would estimate would be tenting on county property?
Or private property or private camp.
Okay, so not on, okay, got it.
Right.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
No, I agree. Like the offsite or the shoulder months, does make sense. Unfortunately, what happens, especially with our demographics and the audience that we cater, there are so many automotive events happening every weekend. And September is completely overlapping now. There's multiple events on the same weekend. And so it makes it really tough to pick a weekend. I mean, we'd have to be pushing into October, but now you're talking, the camping aspect might be, not the greatest time of year for camping. And then early in the season, possibly, we've talked about possibly June being a time of year. I know June, but some of our staffs are educators, and there's the graduations and stuff like that. My wife's an educator, so July kind of fit the month, but I understand. So if it's something where we need to get back to the drawing board and figure out a better time of year weekend, where.
Very good. I'm gonna move along here. County Administrator has comments from Lieutenant of Public Works.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I've been texting with Kevin Hajos. He just wanted to remind us that 2 years ago, we started talking about having an air show during the same time frame. We weren't able to get an air show because the fighter jets can't land there. But so this is kind of something that is an alternative to the air show. The only cautionary item he said is we need to remember the Belmont is here this year. Rich Air gets a lot of traffic during the Belmont.
Right.
So we need to make sure we deconflict the dates so we're not impacting that.
Of course.
Very good.
And it's, oops, sorry.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought I heard you mention earlier in your presentation that after your net expenses, the county could possibly get a percentage of the gates. Are you willing to sit down and negotiate a percentage of the gate regardless of the impact of your performer, your
Yes.
meaning, okay, whether you get $10,000 or $2,000, this county is willing to get a percentage of that revenue coming in.
Yes.
Okay, we've got some other business to get to, and, thank you, and I look forward to continuing with you and the other members that I've cited.
If I could say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Regarding on the gentleman who spoke earlier, one other thing that another reason, and talking to Steve as well, we would love to incorporate airplanes with the event. I think it would kind of create a more unique type of event than just automotive. Both classic and modern, even jets, whichever. I would love to connect someone and see how we could do that, have a display of airplanes with the cars. And that's, again,
The airport manager's well suited to
okay,
help you with
cool.
that.
That's how we can, again, like, what's the reason, what's the new chapter? I think that would be one of the biggest uniqueness or addition to the event, is to incorporate the airplane.
Good. Anyone else real quickly? If not, again, we look forward to working with you. Again, and I personally think it's a great idea. And as Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Helios has alluded to, we had looked at for a while an air show, so not that this would fill that void, but it certainly is a start. So we'll look forward to talking more with you.
Great. Well, thank you for giving me the time to present our event and for the questions and everything.
Thank you. So you can just coordinate with Mr. Mapp. As you said, we'll move it along.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, move on to, thank you, Ron.
Thank you, guys.
Buildings and grounds.
Okay.
Oh,
Public Works is pretty straightforward.
ready.
All right, discussion items. Work order request program is at 7,438 with 21 still remaining open. The fleet car request program is at 5675 and growing again with all the limited amount of cars that we do have. Any questions on those before I go into the next two?
Reservation.
Thank you. The fleet car request program, just briefly give me the overlay of it.
What it is we set up a computer system similar to like what you would do if you were doing an online reservation for enterprise rent a car or anything along those lines. What it does is it allows anyone within the county to go online, see if there's a car available in case they need to request it, to go, just to give you an example, CPS, DSS, or somebody to go to Learning down in Albany, they can sign out if there is a car available and gives them an opportunity to use ours. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you. Yep. Any other questions? Nope. Okay. HSP boiler replacement, we replaced boiler number 1. It is done and complete with no interruption in any sort of heating situation over there in the HSB, which is good. Any questions on that?
How old was that? Boy,
17 years old, with their life expectancy is about 15 years. So we're on tap to do boiler number 2 this year. We've already got it in the budget and it's already scheduled for
Good.
replacement.
and those are the two there, that's it.
Just the 2, yep. Yep. Other questions? No? All right. Cornell Cooperative Fence Installation Status. They did have a grant to purchase the fence, and we actually had 5 gentlemen up there for a week. They did 8,000 foot of 8-foot fence, put it up with 3 different gates, and had it all installed prior to all the weather. It basically goes around their gardens and their greenhouse for security purposes. They did a great job. Something that we kind of saved them a little bit of money. They got a grant for the fence and we saved them on the labor and everything and took care of that for them.
And I associated with Cornell Cooperative, and the executive director gave me very high marks.
Thank you.
County.
Yep, I was gonna say the team.
Your work,
Yep.
yeah,
They did a
so
good
that's
job.
good.
We're gonna actually be doing their roof for them in the spring.
Right.
So they've also got a grant for that. And they've already purchased it and they're storing it. So we'll take care of that in the spring.
Excellent.
Any other questions on that? No? Referrals and pending items, still status quo in regards to the regional morgue unless there's any other updates.
we're just waiting to hear from Albany.
And if you recall, we passed the resolution yesterday, that reestablished our relationship with Glens Falls Hospital for, county morgue services, and they can accommodate anything we need. It may not be, convenient for our forensic pathologists, unfortunately, but it's a good facility, so it'll continue to meet our needs in the short term or the long term. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone questions, any? Privilege of the floor and public comment, anyone? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Supervisor Diamond, Supervisor Beatty,